prosecutor. The New Patriotic Party (NPP) has received with shock and dismay the news of the resignation of the special prosecutor Martin Amidu. Shock because Mr. Amidu chose to walk away from the golden opportunity of establishing a brand new effective agency, having had the best part of 3 years to demonstrate and cement his undoubted anti-corruption credentials, and in doing so, the presidency and the Ministry of Finance, the evidence indicates clearly, has done everything to make the OSP operational, effective, and independent. The decision to appoint Martin Amidu himself is a clear indication that the president did not intend for the office to be headed by a lackey. We remember those who lacked the courage to implement their own manifesto pledge. The National Democratic Congress gave a manifesto promise to separate the Attorney General Department from the Ministry of Justice, to give the Attorney General the independence to prosecute corruption cases without fear or favor. But when they were given the power to act, they lacked the courage to do so. That has not been the case with Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the NPP. We remember in 2012, when Martin Amidu, who described the NDC of undertaking gargantuan corruption, was sacked by President John Evans Atta Mills. The Chief of Staff justified it with a statement that Martin Amidu misconducted himself as Attorney General in a meeting with President Mills. But Martin disagreed and accused President Mills of interfering with the Attorney General's prosecutorial powers under the Constitution in relation to 3 dockets. Thankfully, that era is behind us. Ghanaians admired Martin Amidu's subsequent role as citizen vigilante, and it was because of this fierce sense of independence and experience as a prosecutor that apparently persuaded President Akufo-Addo to nominate Martin Amidu, a long-standing leading member of the NDC, to be the first special prosecutor. Even then, the NDC fought against the appointment of the Supreme Court at the Supreme Court, but without success. Mr. Amidu has not resigned because any investigation of his has been interfered by the presidency or any member of government. Since 2018, he has been offered all the room and support he needed by law and mandate, and every money he has requested to set up an entirely new institution which comes with its own challenges, and to operate the office independently and efficiently. No political office holder has interfered in the administration of that office. Indeed, that his actions appear to impact both the incumbent and the immediate past government vindicates the wisdom of the mandate and powers of the office which he occupied. An office hinged on independence of thought and action. Independence cannot be infallible. Independence does not mean the action of the office cannot be commented upon by the people as has happened with Mr. Amidu's report on Ejapa. Also, for the OSP to work well, the principles of natural justice must be respected at all times. Mr. Amidu's letter on resignation, it would appear that he chose to resign because His Excellency the President sought to apply Odi Oteram Patem rules which enable the Honorable Finance Minister state his case after an anti-corruption risk and corruption risk assessment report was done on Ejapa, and the minister's role in it assessed and conclusions reached without giving the minister the prior opportunity to explain matters beyond the documents assessed. In short, the very independence and authority of the office demand that its conclusions hold up to scrutiny. In this regard, much as the office has the power and right to issue the report, the recipient, President, also had a duty to engage the Honorable Minister of Finance, who in his memo requested by the president in response clearly engages very transparently on the issues raised in the report. We are at a loss as to how this can be stretched to mean interference. There is nothing said or done that stopped the special prosecutor from going ahead to undertake a full and proper investigation of Ejapa beyond the assessment done. All he had to do was continue his mandate to undertake an investigation and continue with prosecution of if a prima facie case could be established. Otherwise, Mr. Amidu's apparently noble gesture of resignation may sadly smack on political grandstanding. The NPP believes the president has been forthright, sincere, and honest in his conviction to fight against corruption. The approach of the OSP by way of an advisory assessment is novel. And let's see. For the NPP-led government, the vindication of the president's belief in the need for an independent office with sufficient power to act in the public realm, irrespective of status, implies major progress in fighting corruption. Not only is the OSP independent of all political influences, it is also capable of initiating its own actions. As the special prosecutor himself says in the report, this is the first time an independent anti-corruption agency established by any government in Ghana has undertaken an analysis of the risk of corruption and anti-corruption risk assessment in the processes leading up to the approval by Parliament of public agreement as part of its statutory mandate. This has been made possible by the courage and commitment of His Excellency the President of Ghana in redeeming the promise he made to Ghanaians, which he was when he was a presidential candidate of a political party, to establish an independent anti-corruption statutory entity to make meaningful any real commitment to prevent and to fight corruption. The Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959, established this office. The president ensured that in the teeth of strong opposition, the special prosecutor was able to have his way, to have included in the Office of the Special Prosecutor Operations Regulations 2018 LI 2374 the Prevention of Corruption Regulations, which, to the best of my knowledge, may be the first in Africa and meet international standards and best practices. Where then is the accusation of poodle affirmed? Our society, especially the political strata, needs to move away from merely shouting about who is the most corrupt and actually begin to fight corruption on a sustainable basis. League tabling corruption does not work, but the recitation and shouting loudest does not solve the political corruption problem if impunity that leads to blatant procurement and resource management issues. The MPP insists that we have a better claim to good governance. We hold CSOs as a natural ally in delivering good governance, and therefore must lay out the situation as it presumably is. Stated bluntly, the current NDC leadership record on anti-corruption is probably the worst ever. Their record on institutional strengthening is abysmal, as evidenced by the Audit Service Activity Report of 2012, lamenting the lack of financial and logistical support since 2012, thereby hampering their work. Their record on anti-corruption legislation is weak. The PFM having been passed under pressure with massive abuses of sole sourcing under the legal procurement regime by the Kufuor administration. The highlight of NDC perfidy is the interoperability process where NDC was giving Ghana a bail of $1.2 billion, the MPP did it for $4.2 million. Before the OSP now is a clear criminal investigation of a judgment from UK court which alleges that the brother of government official 1 served as an intermediary for a £5 million bribe paid to government official 1 for a transaction to acquire airplanes for the Air Force. The NDC record on current strategy is non-existent, with their manifesto talking about Operation Sting without any legs. The man they expect to lead this sting is, according to Mr. Amidu, the same government official 1. There is no detail about the potential legal and institutional structure of Operation Sting, how it will differ from what we have, the gaps it's supposed to fill, and the men from Mars who would drive it. In fact, they have no idea what their own Operation Sting is about. Contrast that with the MPP's record. Cumulatively, from the era of President Kufuor, we have major transparency enhancing legislation or sunshine legislation and case law being developed, internal audit, procurement, OSP, RTI, and the Reformed Companies Act, to mention but a few. Kufuor rightly diagnosed public procurement as a problem, whilst Nanado determined to assault impunity once and for all. Between clean procurement and reduced impunity, Ghana's fight against corruption would be over. Beyond the OSP, with the setup of the Right to Information Commission, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has set the stage for a deeper, reflective and sustainable culture of transparency and accountability. The MPP is assured that His Excellency the President has created the largest space for civil society participation in governance in the Fourth Republic. As architects of the repeal of the criminal libel under President Kufuor, he enabled the media to modernize and blossom, creating not only a culture of aggressive inquiry into public affairs, but also numerous jobs and opportunities for growth and self-actualization. The MPP urges His Excellency the President to accept the resignation of the Special Prosecutor and initiate processes to find a successor to continue the sensitive and important job of realizing the true ambit of the powers of the OSP in order to ensure the success of the fight against corruption. Signed, Yao Boabin Asamoah, Communications Director, NPP. NPC.
Yeah.
Bache.
Yeah, ja.
I want to
na kopam from the do I.
Then aka.
Akada brabo. Yegina sokoto abasenka jenye. Tena President Kufuor kan. Ko behwe wasitinem. Na wetimi make a decision susu say oman ni sika ebe boaboa no. Ye bepe obi a oyo no kwafo. Na obetimi ene Ghana akwa no ho ba obehwe sika no so yi na sabra me no kasei nsututo na manfu mfumude aka suja na kuafo ho kire wo na ne petro bu akoso because of taxes aban ebunani aguso na sua no sua aguso na taxi driver fo nyumari gu ne aban ya ba akofa policy bi aba be gu amanfo adwuma through banking sector eno na osora no pa na obia nsunu greyem obisa sa aban adan na make all these decisions are e dia ho kire brega na for so na se mama mo free SHS inti sa oba ko school o se oba nko school ni bi o the free SHS aba inti unni kwan se o complaining no the free SHS ne ma Ghana fu wi ne fi wasesa onu yankasa na busuafo na wode bo omangana krom ya odi ni bini abanga amanfo abuebue banks no nga fagana fo no ye adwuma wo na nkrofo wo confidence was our banks ni nti bonze bank bi wo ho a obekọ na e Ghana ni na abue nti ekura bi ase tu say GN bank no de bi akosi wo no de boa kuafo abang na ba no zo ye hwa bank no sikasam ni aden koyi wo hia sika be 9 billion Ghana cedis na nka won sikasam agina ne nanso abang ni say 9 billion na mo hia me wo bi nso me fa mamo na mo me de 21 billion ebe guma juman se nya abanga ni timi ye den no ni abadai no ni tima magana fo on take his decisions no ampanso o hwe Ghana fo ni ye o wie won a won sika ho no so mfa ma won na sebe o ura sie don kete no bu ne ba se mko akodwa mekote na menya ntwa ntime pieto nso ka ho anka mko akodigwa na mko ese bia misika mako pension amenya mintimi mfa nya hwe premprenyi ko ma hoden aba fom ntime mfa ntu ba bi kakra na me ko hospital amako yi kakra o kire waduru mame a meto yi kakra me didi ana meto bibia kokobia no pa mako yi kakra enunti odiniska akoto na bank bia ni ho a prekope wonga wodi wonska kogu hon wonmu nchemu du 10% kasi sada no wonyina ba beje wonska bank ni menye scan de amount bank bia no bit ma survive on that panic withdrawal nano but a bank criticize situation no my man for board on pim so ko yonska bank na nya mfa mo so bank na gu na hoden wo form e san say osusu say nipa bi wo banks na chia to no wo ye ne political opponents wagun na sebe baby say so eyi na ejina so koto abanana amampenye ku fado ba no katin so ba be boa na ya protect public purse o magnisika yenya na me no ka say oboa sika bia no odifi habo whatever na boa bia no or your receipt whatever oboa no hia na se ye say o man no impunctu eno ne this kan ba be ye na e de ne enya sa na konen ebusua ba akopemufo ofi ba akopemufo no nga Ghana sikasam ni yedi nyina ade aboso nti enya wonwa se ne Ghana sebe enyum sa Ghana ene ayete so song we dis ka bia gume nyina because was song so de kogu ofi ba akopem President Akufo-Addo.
But what's your response free MPP amayuko na mso wati hana makenkan ni nyina na wasungu so initial comments on response free MPP amayuko no honom aba
response to what?
To the resignation of
me pacho me baby amenti ofi ashase resignation wakan hon krata nene.
Yes,
wakan anope wakan.
Yeah, you interviews bebre
anope wakan.
Yes.
Me that's na no response in how many page?
Me kan wo phones into Manchester number
of can be me share time na
ewa pa
be 15 minutes.
Ewa.
Now say hina na nsajaze.
Honorable ya Boabian Sama, Director of Communication.
Na no be the two agents on chiro bibia na.
I don't know bisasa.
Nti sansem bebrebe o se enya ne den. O kan nsem na o kan ni nyina aboa no ya o se den. What is the bottom line?
Say the fact say aban Ukraine sa political will to set up that office of special prosecutor no enum po kire say aban say ka keta share ne prayer opeso okutia na in fact we make other mentions we will go into it bit by bit me trainer chairman Boatiaba but we initial comment and amepe azania ko detail
ben be kire say na asem no be kind or the babe deny ura Martin Amidu resignation letter na. I know the bad. First saving. Or the bad. Ora Martinamidu. Na President Akufo-Addo edi adwuma man. Na Martinamidu se kwanga President Akufo-Addo de ne fason. Into ntimi nya adwuma ni bio. Eno kasa tintintin. Also ntimi nya adwuma ni bio. Esan say ahyase kura no be complaining say ohia sika a o de be set up ne office. So okay. And a finance minister bakaten so we twa sika 180 million. Yes no kind. Okay figure ba 180 million. And you ko hwemu a sika core office one 3 million. Ne kasa ne say President Akufo-Addo man kwan. No ya na adwen se sabi odene be ne kraman ba. Odene be gye nani wo fie. O ma ne mmomu da, obabom ba me ma wonka. Na wa me enya de a me wonwa. Because yenya aban bia why you too complicit in corruption that this current government aban bia my da in the history of this country. Aban nankasa, President nankasa, or you involved in corruption, scandals. You can see that from a mere innovation to the sense of President nankasa admit say ampa metu na monbone. And no ko wie den. I'm very President Akufo-Addo transe makwan say 800 million emechichiri Ghana for kon ni entua sika emro ne asese yetua so President Jetum so far you obi anamebo a o me be resigning then Minister of Energy ora Buachi Ajako ena den ni si Buachi Ajako share boss e otwen na say dust no mfuturu ne settle ekofoma obekasa mpacho wate ne kasa bi eno achi PDS abangan kasa ye complicit ne ho wa entangle no in that deal to the extent that Ghana hwiri sika $100 million. Allegations about him and you'll be no cover by a bang and ankasa. Some because I dear my ye the sebi some come made in quasiasem. And no one to train yat ya. And confirm Nipa Bakuya, President Akufo-Addo ya, the finance minister. Near to see a bisa. Or friend then Crow and Associates. Okay, something was him. I had Temisika about 10 million. I'm a company said 1 year you may be a mayan on first canon cody at Auditor General about one thing rather than level. I can't have some and no way. Me we are much so. Wanga go so say. As I say, ya bogana sika bang. Sana President Mahama Kaino. Also, only the own corruption say a mass murder. Sana President Mahama no hunning. Mass murder into a certain standard be say mempo me hunipa ye involve maintenance and it's on record, so be just act of intent. Now that sukeko o say nyame ye madom na me nya $1 million me nye politics crabium o say sa hey na nya okay dey say na nkyere say friend am friend anything na buy you ewura no amfa kaprekra o antiviki hama ewura so no kama wan confess ke bia wan mokrong bia wan kaso be kwa wia na mum adwen ne keke no president mama say da bi fed man to wanza na sande keka ko I hwebe na ko esa Adam din bi so okay edrin trumbo oso hu aduaban na efe na edokon nti me masa akono no ma na aduaban ba wo de nsa aka nti tranchengansa onu ankasa na preso jida so ne nesi na me no ka say enya hoho ade me da bia me kana me yemahye me Sa papa no enne oda efiase. Under President Mahama no na breso. National service so obekaya scandal be break you all. One thing I want I say sanction investigation. Me binum who ko agua me bi dem e bi tuesika. Ono ankasa na breso ayenu no MP4 position o kan and a bas branding bisa se ko wie den. Bas branding abang ni tua na among sabrenum. Kopem say private entity and a woman no sika na e broso no wasan man be tuai. That is leadership. Bas branding Ghana moka cause sikano near brusono wajay minister na oya responsible sabi you not only involved in it even though say chief directors na dey na say man or take ultimate responsibility
but okay sir release here this paragraph for instance or say we remember those who lacked the courage to implement their own manifesto pledge. The National Democratic Congress gave a manifesto promise to separate the Attorney General's department from the Ministry of Justice, to give the Attorney General the independence to prosecute corruption cases without fear or favor. But when they were given the power to act, they lacked the courage to do so.
CJ, remember how? I don't memory. Until what tell Office of Special Prosecutor and a heading. Nientia yen binum jetum say as I say yes separate sa office no from the Attorney General and say Attorney General ya bang appointee mebwana okay executive no or a member of the executive into a bed dinga man say onuankasa betimi pursue onuankasa ne nkrofo if they are found culpable say you would want check kata say no problem. And this year, Sani Pano, special prosecutor, no, Efi, a bang control Asia. Opetimia to a bang you my fwa. What do one who be racket? I send a prayer one so sa. It in Kaefe. Mpacho Bibia say our purpose, our dear Meboa. Okoto, Ubetima Koto Lorry Tab sang with them. So did the critical. What are they then?
Oh, the Bishop Cassie.
Now they are no they then.
The
one until one fine shazin put you in see. You beef say or to come on no cabi no nya maya or to two time no graphias this year bosso. Because time is as a better run friend the machine no. And the until say Antonian Fanny exhibition. If the understanding of the MPP include the Raya but me one say Yanto Kekenian Fanny salute there. And one Gugan any say internationally. Because I knew the purpose of the special prosecutor say Antonia Manentinase. Near rendered impotent. Yeba Kasika Cassia the man, near mano, a paltry 3 million. 3 million out of 180 million. Our locating man. Into what expect Sonia Dejuma? Najuma no crown up on home or ding to Tini Rome. Sarah the Nancy Sinsum and a Jomuno na. No investigation if you are president catches the idea over Bosia Fabre Mansa. Behumi answer. Mr. Mekenkamba, corruption scandals are bangye deeply rooted in it, neck deep. Under this president current government, President Kufado Abreso, you who be that? Crow and associate. Nia ono the rubonin ni obeka chance ni amako honin enne otifie ora domelevo otifie enso nko security of tenure ordinance akokan ya involve oro safo mafo kroye bia ejapa won kra no wo ma esese wodidi ye nga aka nyina de ye nga no mafu o kreti adwuma na ni ho ma ne ma ba no wie ni Assembly fan ho na ye drum ne ketasesha eze nipa ko fa asasam ne bai no wogi na di nto ru adombelefo otifie me na 19 e koto aba mekufu adwana se o mebua ketasesha ne proi ne nkoso so enu nti ya mon kan kire no wanyane amma ye nsem ma se no wura ya buabia samwa say ketase ne pray drum kan yin nyina chi ya ma ye nsem ma won because pe no ni ohun ni say won got to special office of special prosecutor. So what? And how they are then? Because papa nanga sase mo be kan no o say eyi nti na be de men nsem ni nyina adwuma mo de ma munye mwade because oh ma me kwan ma me nya adwuma na o de ma me no ba ko ni say even fisa the break crowd dey adwuma ma me me deputy ka prekra won fa man saketu ampo da mfia hini enti wanti me am motivate ni pan say adwuma wa ya ma wompo wo betu an ho ka enumpo da ketu ampo akam mpato wanka na okay akan say ohun say President Akufo-Addo ni oka wona anon eye nyom bi no to keke efa ketase ne problem because anya de obetimi to so sada wo sa woni o wo je no hinanum ye je no konfo anu what is anyum ne da what ya komoda
me share ya komoda
oh FSA what is it FSA
na about din
so konfo bi timi twa ho sa na obe friend nyom
no but say the kasa ne fia bonte ho wurem
so be friend nyom a won so I woni o na say ese mo manyum openyum so de saw nti I woni o wo je no konfo anu President Akufo-Addo susu say afọ ura matina me do adamfo no de adwuma man no de aba hye ne nsem na matina me do be hu ono say na adamfo ne nti onfa aba ne mo ne da na da he thought says aneso ye Ghana for ning nada jolly
ani pese wo de si fa ma me na chairman Nana Boateng abai ono so me kon ho be sima be dumienu na
what a baby da
oze
baby was only ho ni free you wo what is happening
ani pese na pe de o de be pa
na wa ba nya baby ayedu no ye tu asoko afa no ba be fi ase foforo afa no ba inti baby amedun o tu aso akona ni anya sa
na enfa na master one this for si boy
afa mpacho ti o ti
e dey enfa ta bi nyina ma na
je di say me sorry and to mrika fi popo isu san ya baby kura me do kada
na me bi san na me na bi film kro ma na
okay am the me try to intro
okay no way
ne ka na de jo mama just ni fi
na traffic situation cry wole eba bedu mu fi
onim
Madam, just a helicopter.
There are Nana Boateng.
Na mpacho, na mi nwi. Na me mo problem because obi tie me.
32 minutes so.
Me ba.
Oh, say baby.
On kasa for
no say me for man no see. Ana yesa na kan ning.
Me start
me the man no see.
Me ba Nana Boateng. Me kind mo press release query na ye 9:13.
Press release
9:13. Me wie ya also mu. It's now 9:33.
Press release in say e ya no yi. Nto me say academy bio. Press release na be yi asem ni nyina no de. Ana me boa. Obeka anything different from that press release in the buy na. And this Adam, I mean, come as a man.
Or started.
But all the same, TMU.
Or started 9:12. I was monitoring it. It's here. Bisa Kwajo.
And I mean, so say, me can't release ni 9:13.
It's me now in the same area. No problem.
And you wakasa for 30 minutes.
Now the from 9. No, so book from 9:13. Okasa more than 18 minutes. So say time ya boy. What dey short time?
CJ.
Nana Boateng.
Me nyansi for me dey. Ni okay. At the senior.
Me pato 1 minute si fa mame na me ma
no so man sa tonsuma ne ho na be for ne ho nsensan
ani piesie
interfere na me de man no ba be si fa mame me si nipa wo ye won adwen se wo be bua President Akufo-Addo to corruption so sam emu dodo nara President Akufo-Addo the corruption ni mum fight e wo ne edikan wo be kai say Anas ba bonten ebe da ne me biadi faketa se ne prayer ana President Akufo-Addo account no asem so ono de oba the Anas principle no be used to fight corruption and Anas na mu abanyi ta no so te se ne asabe o sabe wakwa atwe no kisi epue enu achi owura Ahmed Swale eno wo he yakopon fa ne currency under President Akufo-Addo or fight corruption no President Akufo-Addo corruption fighting kopem say ne on tiasibium ye nya member of parliament wo ba bonten be threaten ne life and then they maba.
Okay.
And Rechi,
Bernard,
never pay so Gina so, and then crata to form ne say. Or the a Japa deal, Barbontinga, involve Rosa for Mafo, or a friend that can offerata, and any deputy, or a friend then Gabio Chida Comono, and ne what the threats. At that time, now, copy himself, so say, as I saw dear Jumano.
okay. Medase, NPSA. German.
See, you made us and I'm Ghana media.
Bernard and NPSA.
Because you fear Sakaya, and I'm more than a equalizer. No, and I bet
Why equalizing?
that being among us and this NPP in way. And I bet that, but Ghana, it has nothing to do with NDCMPP. Ghana corruption.
Chairman, I'm in trauma. DM you need nothing. We are member. So Airtel to go and Quenya obey free morning calls 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Koto Airtel to go sim fufro na ota ye Airtel to go money transfer kakrebia and so yeah them automatic. Oh yeah, my free morning calls. Fiana panunum kopana panundu. Okasasa nafi yes also at the free Airtel to go money transfer free and also so yeah their tower so now another phone also dial star 110 hash or select the option 2 nothing for as little as 2 Ghana cedis no wa subscribe and one no komo bia peso bia semre no ndu nyambo ye kohwe obi ni phone time na so hwani Airtel to go adaroma enti ensemble kra koto Airtel to go sim and they Airtel to go money life is simple. Chairman.
Hey, CJ.
Akwaba.
Mon koto Airtel to go live. Emma NPC. No kasa somre. Inti yes asem for one we cry another 5 minutes. What kasa sa asem a obedi be ndi. Me ba no ka. Me ba no kan crow and associate. Me ba no kan kenufurata.
Chairman.
Enti mama nusi nyina na eno na enti monto Airtel to go live. Na mon fama no. Monto mano. No, on kasa na fe omre o si the whole day. No kasa the whole day. On kasa the whole day. Omaya yetimi. Maza, debia meka. This kind of hypocrisy behavior. And for main ko bebiada. And let NDC sit where they sit today. No more continue and behave with the same thing. Because no wonder. I said John Mahama said corruption is mass murder. Eti no kunkumu ye wo krom hai. Kum Ghana now only about John Mahama address and crofo awu because
kum Ghana for when.
Now the mass murder not refer to the. Catch them. Or not here come ba wan kan catch say wan kan. I said John Mahama say corruption is a mass murder. Eti no kum yen. And no so pa kunyadi. John Mahama kum ya na okoye mass grave. And okopia yen nyina gum. Because he's the most corrupt president we ever have in the history in this country. It is also a mass murder there, Yadanasi. Yamishra no. And then I dream pa. So what trans in what me who say corruption and mass murder. Not the etinem. The best bet or John Mahama. The Trump card or the TV I saw be Jumo be ye or same from when I bought pa any doom so. Yeah, the man why are there? And now through that mass murder, yes. You know IPP is almost sign a contract. And now if you did on my etia ka yenya ho faso mass murder.
But chairman, response am the buy is here.
Na baby odi ko wie na efa asema na kan hu be. Baby ani PSA betena ha obo corona association no. Eka de papa kan asema na kan hu bia na. Bibisa. You see, so when we are building institution, so when you corrupt minded na yemo. And then corrupt practice no practice here. Ora Martina Midu. Yemisa say the first resignation. No name na ejuma na no CJ na ejuma. Ka che. O name na ejuma no no na ejuma.
David.
Why na no ne o me ejuma? Anya atofo esi here.
Oh. Chairman.
Atofo here no no mu ejuma.
Chairman, ya ka so be tofo a.
Ko bi say race dun ketu obekere wase. Ko bi say race dun ketu say atofo o mu ye hifo. O kire wase anenu anu no. Enye is not an insult.
Okay.
Huh? Oma so mawu no mu ye no te kwantimpo mu no mu hunu na nkrofo menye wom oni wom ana na ye adwuma bisa wom say ne resignation na ye den Papa ye now so opa kunyadi the former president His Excellency Ora John Mahama bisa say Ora John Martinamidu the resignation no nim hu bia na. Wasn't he a vice president that time? And you on investigation Brazilian Embra now the president I established commission say investigating. Yes, corruption is a mass murder. Until we come here. At that time, I know the president. And we di yinedi. Then mass murder. And then, or no, so paper kunyedi. The president Kurano investigated. Set up a commission against him. Urajo Mahama. Go and ask. Yembisa say, your friends, why you me case? Then can who be na papa de resign here? Motam sika pudo dia mo da senie di. Wa chama mu nyina anya bi. Eni space yet here minim say no de ko to ne car ne dia. So tiase. Ah? Mon kan yentie, mo che sika na di. Free money. Freebies. Also be a freebies a nonsense. And ne also we just say into abamount. Overcome corruption. He is the most corrupt candidate, the most incompetent the nation has ever seen. It is the American say and ne say ora Martinamidu ababontin. Bebka the year Kenya. Me, let's look at it from the any point of view. I think some year beka. CJ, ora Martinamidu say and a human on your view. Meba. Ye maybe son say it is said ne we are institution about tomorrow. Say unto. But the most important, any that institution has come to stay.
But the reasons the reasons he has given for his resignation, the interference.
Why is that president the side of the story? Why everybody jumping to conclusion? What is that president the side of the story? Because I conclude to say, or say he's interfere. And a president interfere. I want to know. Tell me which one. Okay, I saw the Kenoforata court and a president say me ma fan kwana. Now president or your prosecutor. Assume he says also an independent minded person. I was so a juma. CJ, the question of me be sound says so you want just saw the papa court and how do you be court? Now president say me fan kokora CJ be betu asu kwan na. Oh, you didn't come. Be betu asu kwan. There's nothing because it's the court who will decide. And a court of
but the independence of that office of the office of the special prosecutor.
Now we can independent. Not BBNC. I also independent. Anything I mean, we do home. Again, and then money independent. Catch him. Sir, a Japan deal no. I am president of the command. I am president of the command is all investigating. And now we are now do report our brain. It's independent now. Can any day? And I report out the abba. Report and ask me.
And no man penny is saying.
And me no can answer. I'm so man penny side the NT. What is man penny respond? Oh, we are fast to change. When I will be there, some question class at you until can some namity. Now some who me bear now to me and send me some mercy. My question class at you. What is man penny respond? What will respond about Tejame? CJ catch him or respond on. It is a Ora Martinami do so many acre. On one letter, or said because letter the common man penny, the response a Juma or man penny refer man so on ye. The response or the common man penny or man penny, and so could be some crowd no accuse you. So almost on farm side of story and your day, Emra. Now we down to Otuhui, CJ. So what here now auditors accuse you. Bibia, so ni muhoshi, so ni muhoshi. Ni actual report to me. No record situation in the board. I catch say, CJ, the young huni into a response here. Now what the target was, I didn't know I could be CJ into a human majai. Is it an issue to discuss? But me, I any personal reason. Anything I make catch say, me, I don't want to attack him. A human who are young to me. Two or decided so on your view, I want to be for son. Meboa. What was to say, I know both trim for semi free, have me my happy, because you don't have a church rabbit. Oh, it's your decision. It's your personal decision. It's in the media. So what's he interrogate the Abba and the Yakan Wasama? Yan should be am from Swan War. Now institutional Babet Nahono, the Dutch in the Kankono. Huh? It will inform us in most of our decisions. And that is the most important for all of us. Say, special prosecutor institute establishing. Ghana, Yabeshamokina, BBBA to see our Rab Martinami du Bresson, Yakoyanimunu, Yabetimia assassin near reinforcing, near dealing with corruption. Because me, I'm against corruption. Why? When an energy corruption, I joined this for pay. I know my brother, no man, I'm on Bibi on Bayabia, Yencheni, connection. And now Martinami do free as no better than I can be. Embra, Nami Nimis and the candidate Nani Jello pre connection Hosa. What you say? Yatna Cromha. Bibiero pre bia time of year vice president, Elo Prena Fan. The American Chon say, a report now, Ora Martinamidu, at the command, Nanadono. So the Airbus count. Bibi sao, Seneca.
Yeah.
What is an anado can wasm? And in PS about now, what is so I can wasm? Ni leader, dear, some no can far. On can change. A sickling, a stupidity, a dear Ben, on no quantity for Quachimota. Huh? Becky card or Becky can't try Ghana for or Martinamidu. And ne or no Everton, and also the ball or Martinamidu address. Now, what the Anya Shikran, more somewhere crown now or free as saying to jam my buyer, ya didn't call ye or my penny farmer up to now. Or Martinamidu, and then now can be any hypocrisy. And Kadioki can find who can make a choice and refer. Nekeka. Say, Papa, me can say, no, not here. It's in the resignation there. I'm not surprised. Kesa who can, what happen? Say, yet desperation to me, our pa. But Mamma can be intro. CJ, me show come wa. Martin do resignation. And I did one vote to NDC. And subtracted one vote from MPP. I'm telling you. Then the baby on my kwan and not what page on my could do and the gun of one, yaka corruption and when you beacon. Why not? Am I know to me do hunkomo? Special prosecutor, yaka, and no tell me your day,
yaka corruption and no when you beacon, as our name was. As our name was, I took my account. Because when I'm young, I bet in a hacken, say fear of free mubano, so couldn't baby of free, Cobejina ye. Because what they're trying to fit out in your boaty and what throw when him and this year, you be yamo. Mo, ye can't corruption. Ye can't corruption. And we are take on my chrono. And not like I can this or say the Ocadiempo or Bitisan or Boba Jacudi or say there. I can't meet you and get me refi the title of it. I also the canamity. Huh? Say, and now your coy, Bisana say, sad deal now, all can wasm. Oh, can I mean, Dwaso. Title, let me refi, and Mammy Renfinamenka. They were in our person.
Make up what Jaco or Sibu Jaco resignation. Okay, I didn't me. Binia no Kaime.
And in busy.
I'm Mary. I'm Mary.
And even a Marco Bosu.
Oh, yes,
and even a Marco Bosu.
Now, the maybe sound says, I'm with the goose. Nanka, oh, ya can nip poto pa, can nipa. A substance will decide this, obey decided, oh, why are there? Why are there? Why are there? And no need the institution of Ghana. Opposition who ni hokeke. That is part of your job. Now more ajuma mu tran krom ha. Now wo de hu ya ye kan ya de ofa yen so e. Woni ni me no na ya krom 44. Me bi saw. Cycle ade yan kan jam say ne bo ntisa. Wo mu jaye. A Mary deal ya o kan ho asemi. Ya mama me kan tram we say 350 million. Still amount on 510. Mu jaye. It would be fun assuming. Let me give you the benefit of the doubt. Opposition was human. No one cancel audio. You say the 800 beguso. Okay, Papa said the mean you. Ghana bokahin.
But chairman, Juma no.
Some say but chairman. Mr. Ghana can't no mabo.
Chairman, say between komo.
The book say but chairman. They are now will be bigger. But so catch them say chairman. no be some asem no and can't say but chairman the American say
chairman na pay say oba me ba pa
David me ma oba the me be sound say
Yes.
Oh masa oba we wanya 30 minutes with here 20 minutes so she just say me can 30 me can 20 she just the me be sound say or say kagana enka ya boka he Mrs. the same married deal Parliament minority can say Sergeant set na go mu kwa koton Sergeant greatest na mu kwa koton 350 million omo di my 510 sikana daso no 150 na omo de to so no omo jaye eti wo ya ka kro no fita ya ka kro no fita NDC mo na mo ya kronfo mo na mo boga na kro no so uti ase. Oh, now the other kind of record. Oh, they record now. I did a record now. 800. Yeah, show 800, oh, baby. I did a record now. What about trying to try Yampia? Oh, because I'm saying no record. Me say, Opa, search, do your search, my producers, and control how many times minority complain about their Mary generators and their koto. Monkwana mutifia, and so more than first cano. Huh? Jida Sada, Mudi Sikano, a Bogana ka over 200 million. Modi. Intermediate say yes institution naba na yes ye manaba betrasi ayadwuma yemwa ne yenye say matena mi du kwa special prosecutor institution yengu no owu no kwa yengu no say be rolling squad the fourth rem by ene waja hoko ya to Ghana mu ana it end this way say momo fo say eno abema mu votes be catch plane ene Ghana fo nimdi omunimdi pa o mine nanado ediyeko because corruption senenke ni ho an come establish that institution me boa ka tell me say me boa but o mass meda wo de odi kunye wo tibiachi anopa wie anwumre ha ene wo si ensanto abama wo wanya bi baba beka eno Ura John Mahama now this corrupt candidate cried I'm surprised that you don't feel ashamed to come and sit in the radio and try to propagate and sell his credentials. Odipa ono want me take a decision. And more mine that in the canko. And yakes. Media ora your friends Martina Midu. Meti me aka say wa baby. Huh? We dumra of force and ne or say juman on ye wa bre his own opinion. Whether his personal, whether it's by the job, whatever. The most important say institution better now. Institution be ye more jumadin. President will appoint somebody that he can run that institution independently. Say the yen na person hun because a young man penia and kasasa we come in tibida. Say or no on can't me say in the history of Sabi ya on wankasa edi issues akuma independent body. No more omo response aba. Now what to one among and then response of the buyer no CJ say any mam you know me boa president refer or catch us a parliament because two sides of the institutions and a Japan deal me boa the Ministry of Finance and then the parliament
yes
and then parliament the any day no ram atenami do nka say president the akọ parliament the adwuma no menye bi and one side to one regime because parliament is an institution on its own. What you say? Now, asema okay, cry. Was there any way to say, or no, or Martinamidu? Many finance committee, parliament for Kasai. This is the process. Many Ministry of Finance Kasai. This is the process. But on your own judgment, your own narratives, you try to tune. You try to tune a conclusion. The whole conclusion is that asema wakan obi anka ho asem bio. I don't know yamfanya adwuma. Now, but as until assume he said, CJ, assume he says the president. Eka is okay. The work can no credit. For some no faco court and Crawford co prosecutium. Now, okay, na judge in Bisa say, na nipana. So, Madam is a lawyer, me boy. So, a lawyer.
Yeah.
In two na judge in Bisa say, your accuser, no, did you give him opportunity to write his statement? Also, there be Umbra court no better on a statement. It's a sunny idea, Samana. Me, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm raising questions. See, you're a lawyer.
Debbie.
On your student lawyer, so. Afena. But in the common sense approach, we go catch a court no say. The man accused no man opportunity to write his statement. I'm so much on a statement to a court.
Oh no.
It did not the asama ye ken. Asama ye ken ya no betra ha can be and na president ye de command no and no say or person control na di. A dear statement no ora matinami do oji free Ministry of Finance for her. A dear statement oji free Parliament Finance Committee NDC for nyina kan. A dear statement oji free her. To understand those financial implications. Any society there, so tini nyina ase a yan institution nyina nka no ho. And they free me see before I make asem. I wish that president come on the resignation. Now come man ntra ho. Next time Ghana ko bobusia bia yan fa ma ora ma tena bi do no nya ho adwuma. Because what the financial analysis na se chen obia.
Sana hunu.
Now asema me ke me hunu sa anka ade a wo se wa accuse obi wo a ono nipa ya ade no wan gi ni statement kura anti ni knowledge how the adwuma na se but who dia wo de wa conclude there wo se yan fa ne sa
but chairman yan hwe asem no saying so the other reason me PK from the resignation no the fact that yama adwuma since 2018 na ehwa there for instance or mention emolument ne ka ho nyina now o say adwuma no menye to satisfaction chairman.
Okay, I wish Paasenka and no any statement also the monument now monument they say na big deal but he has the biggest office in this country.
How
than every madam don't be an office.
The biggest office as in the size of the office or how powerful the office is.
Na powerful that. Special prosecutor no law say kita unyina and no wo kese yo. It powerful be na person. Embrace edition say the assurance that me go job at in there no there CJ or them no.
Okay, so you mean the size?
Yes, size. It also the beya juma. Na we dey na the beya juma ka kire me. Computer yento bi ma. Cars yento bi ma. Workers are pay yemfa bi ma. Officer out your hosa and answer the so you need to interrogate the issues. You see, ye tem be so many bar. Ye funny bia near funny tra because we been in PSA man abetra. Adani asem no baby asem ni agina akogina baby foforo. Akọ twimbi bia ye ka he da bia me ka me say ejapa a Mary and a dear bio can be count PDS. And in PSA make a car Ghana abo. Near fan compare or contrast no deals. So elopre na we mu wutumi hwane na taban ba ko no maton adi. Yan fani nyina nka ho. Ni yan compare who has caused the nation's money. It is most important. Embra yabeka hanga keka ni ebesi wa. How much did it cost us? Ya kan ni mpese mu jaye. Mu disika no. Ka ba ko a wo de o se nanado. Aye, hey, PDS, that be our maca.
Chairman,
me not trust you. I can wasm. Opa can ne cannot china.
Chairman, me 2 minutes more to so my main kai etie for say Vodafone ma usa kwenya no. Se sikadudu bia obesend the Vodafone cash so no. Free. Sikadudu bia obesend the Vodafone cash so no. Free. Trillion Ghana cedis kra. Ye until 1 peso kra. Enti pe Vodafone Nsem na afi fa eno so emanisika ekoma ebusuane adofo dial star 110 hash na afi fa sendisika for free Vodafone. Also the future is exciting. Ready, Chairman?
And they said they didn't PSA didi. They said they were sending sika yantene hwe. We nyina na nado ayama wanya ode.
Chairman.
Otiase. Na nado aye we no nyina Ghana. And they also
Vodafone for commercial.
Vodafone is Burkina Faso. CJ, Miniano. What you are grown as
and I pay your promise. I know the answer. There are 2 minutes now for this.
Yeah, can Missy. The only president.
But Chairman,
yes,
Chairman. See, and Rabbi, you know,
Why are you confused?
Honestly, as a Ghanaian,
Why are you confused?
because of Papa, I mean that well. Say they quite a catastrophe pro. And they say wow kind say when you be also corruption. So,
Yes. Why?
you know, but that institution and I can share any say and can be flow oh yeah no I mean without fear or favor. Oh, now and they, you know, reasons are one man dear now what judgment matter. I don't know, but as a Ghanaian and as a journalist, I
understand your frustration. Let me use the proper word. I understand your frustration. You see, but that shouldn't be a conclusion. Yes, it's a hasty conclusion because you see the institution is there forever, and even for where your frustration is, it will help us to build a future upon it. Because Martinami do anya Saint I know Saint Peter, I know Saint Michael, and another Saint Jude. Huh? And I will say, oh, you recall what Tisika, Aqua, sometimes you have disagreement in the house.
yes.
Assume inside the Martinami do cry and cry. So you want to tell me, say, Bibia Martinami do best or Rebecca no? Nanado only actually. Is that what you are trying to say? But you need to interrogate the issue and come to a conclusion. Say, okay, Sadia Way was a challenge for us. And in year build the future now. How are we going to correct it?
Okay, Tisamanti, what do you mean?
Point me say.
Enti nanka Ramat Namido betimi ayese adwuma pa ma yehu say Ramat Namido na fei aban mu nipa a minister of state. You know, or the no akogina court ma you know I'm running no adi. Na adwuma no betimi aye.
Obi anya hwe na de obi court. Can be saying at the end of my nipa ya Ramat Namido fanin ko e. What you want to be a because you are special prosecutor. Oh, yes, CJ, ni mas CJ, just say, Uni, Utri Hopa, intimate over court. Is that how? Oh, sorry, I'm not going. So there has to be a proper establishment evidence for him as a lawyer. And to Ora Martinamidu, my question is that. So when you say Nanado say a lawyer, so what I say, it is an issue niba. Nasa was say, Airbus issue by. The report of the command and what is another can was maybe so. Then can Japan statement no the kind then can so but president did not comment on it. Media CJ me say adwen pa nanado etu wo manmu enema nyina odi atoto kom every institution be a why establish yen Ghana for your dutch yen fa yani hwe. It will come out to the best perfection, but it's a roadmap for the nation to build upon it and make sure, say, at the end of the day, no, or mine can't in the Dutch, say, anado, and then Kwan or decide to say, Adia me yaja resource, that ain't come one. Kepepe biatna. And nothing I make a choice, I say, an MPSC. Meaning not, Mr. Japadil, your friend is PDS. Ma kan me bona na do abaso ani ana mo otu ye wo de kansa do person kan bia kansa ne yire Rebecca ana na Japan deal no na ye ne dia o deserve Rebecca decide say okoje PDS or ye Ghana ni or ye business ye but even at the end of the day the president of the republic, the honest, the sincere, the Ghanaian hope Nanado cancer me yire Rebecca Crown Jumani and the Amatchum. So to Obekan, or so, and I'm one I'm quiet and I'm Muslim. President is so with chum into the tag everybody with it. He saves the nation's money. May say, give me one typical example. NDC or rap in PST on country. And I'm on 2 years be criticized on Mujai.
Medas.
Yet here STS. Me the manusi from STS deal. It cost the nation $210 million for transaction a year. Insurance is me a cost. Already John Muhammad and a co-chairman. O me yinado. And ne ye can seglement. No, you're chairman of the cabinet committee. And according to the architectures engineers, say, and then see one no who assessing mu niema ne bibia wo mu a 64 million and the NDC for tia 190 million US dollars.
Chairman,
and then John Mahama. It's that corrupt candidate. You see, Kasana Samuni Bibika. Your banners are some number. Yanka some near Shagana that's in the country.
Medase, Chairman and Abating, and out in Kano. Any busy?
CJ.
Yeah, there be yes, the time age, man. Person be phone lines in Sunday. In the second round, no, 3 minutes, never ya. It me be phone lines. The are not final words.
CJ, maybe Rahul studio.
Adeng.
It's Ghana pani. Ghana pa. Any. Say a banga otiso. Uncle no mumuna. Yadi sika ma no hwe so man na ban ni via yen sika di sika na watchman abe complain say aban dia no di Ghana sika obo Ghana kron enunti mentna se na nim guase ba wo de me aka ho nti owura watchman matna medu so se sadia ma mentwe me ho kakra reasons are mijina so atweme ho say aban no your kronfo aban no bogana kron na aban anu yi to letter tie ne pa o aban anu yi to letter na matna me do I issue say o your kronfo ene say nya me nkwa na me your kronfo aban ba ko bi so aban no so no your kronfo CJ sa semi se wotia ense sa ore ho CJ tie ne pa o Ghana no nya America asemo na yeti Ghana na yehwe American election o intese obi ade ne nsache de dem refem no hwa no so resere o Ghana young destiny Ghana young shabre ajede asho mampen kufa do nsamfia nan na ombe bu konta nkyere ye mfia nan sika ye de ama no ene adwuma watimi de aya Martina Midu, being the gatekeeper, say, Sekano, President Akufo-Addo, and in Ebusia, Echesikani state capture.
I mean, how could you set it?
And I don't can own. When I can own, I think now can own.
No, I mean the topic for discussion.
The topic for the discussion
and where you are veering.
Where am I veering to? A Japan deal, hold on. A Japan deal report, 64 page, you know. Is it different from what I'm saying? Then I can own. A Japan deal, 64 page, you know, I'm to buy, no. And you must have a catchery. Then I can own.
No, but the fact say Ebusiano, I would say Ebusiano Jessica.
I take assumption
without evidence.
64 page the Japan report now.
Report na him for the
go back and check.
Report na him for
Maybe I now can here. So I can show refi. Cause you be. Now they say a Japan deal no. Then na matna me do kafa ho. Total rip off. President Akufo-Addo, ni nua Kenofrata ne ho wombi. Gabi Ochredako ne ho wombi. And you're telling me say, oh, Masa Ghana face abriko, and ye did the goris ado. Because you to about my bank say, oh my yet ni enche ni empembe bintina. In Chirima Kahobi. And in Chirima Dache, gold ayebenya, and whole royalties. And Chirima, Abanbia ba anye ye kurano. When you 130 to 200 million, if him every year. And no, and now bangi etse me pay 500 million. As an coaching, no buabwe scanner in about 3-4 years, obeti nya. Or the 15 years. 15 years. And here the NDA and then Akufo-Addo. Near de Obana. Ebi afekwa na oba benyem no no kopun so benjinga 15 years na dachi ene ba bejadi under President Akufo-Addo na nipa be benefit wom kese pa ayo ro safo ma afo ba Kenoforata, Minister of Finance, Nene Cronies, lawyer for our team, Gabio Tredako, and any partners. Now, none yet.
Mammy.
Majanamidu. O say, Obdress am if you're not bar bonting, you know. Threat Banoson says, Kufado near ready to fight corruption.
Okay,
because Ananka is complicit.
That point is made.
Medase. I am fire some way 10 years. Medase. Se Sabria Matrami today, Manatu way, a fay in a view.
Okay.
Nampacho, very brief. No can marry innovation herself.
No, but don't go back. Bibacho, I'm ready to don't go back. Dennis from Kufodia sends in this one. He says, if former President Mahama, according to the NDC communicator, sees corruption as a mass murder, then he deserves a death sentence for the Sada, Jida, RLG, Bass branding, and the unconfirmed cases. Sheer hypocrisy at play. NDC is shameless indeed. Dennis from Kufuria and Ode Eno Ebai.
President Mahama,
you will not attack. No, you will not attack my texters and callers. Please. More message here. We say. CJ, good morning. I think the NPP has failed totally in the fight against corruption. The mere fact that Mr. Amidu couldn't stand the interference of President Akufo-Addo is a clear indication that this government has no intention or political will to fight corruption. NPP must go. Or say a friend or Aseda or the free Buedria and the Ebae. Chairman.
CJ. You see, they say Entokwa for Froa. Now, I say, I don't know what I said. And oh, my man, come on. Now, also, Kikaya is no. Because
me now announce me phone lines in the pay.
Now you allowed him to do this. You know, then after some yeah. Because
please.
It's your cow. What the about the ball won't feel your back out because we are the bonnet for. What you say? Oh, now, Master, I mean, Yamanana, your mouth, okay, 3 minutes. Why? They make kind of say, and to Kana for throne. And then test a crowd, and only but me, who hear me, sir? What you say? Because I am master man, be kind. And I'm a catcher of planes, say, me, Bano, the statement, I represent you, Rajon Mahamano. It tells you, say, and say, I come back that, yeah. And then it's some of the cow woman, he say, Papa Lucas said, didn't call Fire Squad. Me a very nice gentleman. Me say, and never be queen, then the best is no kind, so what's on for a new tree from Jida and Sada, no can. I contompana. $200 million. I contompana. And now also no fun a new tree for because when it's for the Moody car, Yanka Wassam. Moody or my Sika Yanka Wassam. Because what to me Koyan confirm, also could be and Yanashi. So what you say? Oh, Jadio can a young one out to take Ghana. They are make a pass or Rajon Mahama at his time. Jida Sada, STL, or Cromfo, we there, Manamono to you. Because I Utiano Chrono. Utiano say, Nanado Bush of Chrono. No one air Cromfo Rajon Mahama. Who is thief than him? A corrupt candidate?
No.
And then what here can say and say,
please.
It is my and I attested you. And I attested you. When Pani accused you, when he accused you about Embra situation, when he accused you about Airbus situation, when he accused you about settlement, it is a no. So what do you say and bring your senses back and let's have discussion. So if you related it to corruption, there are candidates now preaching for him to get votes. No, or a corrupt candidate. What you say? Be an number everything the team you can from John Mahama connection or Shasu. He's a connection man. Neither now. Oh, John Cocacho beside 3 years into Fanny Cocotana. All right, John Mahama said, "Oh, the second boy in within the first 3 years, you can never take him to court. It is not to operate in this or Babadia because after the 4 years, you know, he can be tried." What you say? It's in media, they make catch on.
Chairman, my announcement phone lines 0302216561 0302216562. Chairman, Fanusi.
They make kind of say, and I'm more year to Okroma. Say, I see a beckon of cray. I'm on my dance in the canco. Say, and yet the break. And then yes, Sabi, and I'm more mood too. And I sabi, Munim, the Ecos or Ghana. nkene ka Ghana kanko ka mo bebo mu nsam ama owura nanado aka kire nanado say ampa why ade and owura matena midu any si fan tra krom anya no from asedun katia including owura John Mahama on can just why you stupid.
Okay.
Also yes,
me that's it.
Also you stupid.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, CJ.
Yeah, whiny.
Actually, I'm Tommy Mpensenpensenmu.
Okay, Tommy and Yemen Biente.
Yeah, CJ, my number about so number NDC not one about super wire, the power cutting pan, and people for your strong, you're strong, baby. Since over my family, I resign because of a drama what the Shannon and one person because of Chrono, and people for Corona High one person. Papa ne be Corona na wa bona order to the engine on march down like what the south to Papa na so why just why come Papa one person Papa ne to my BBA for Corona and people follow bono ya come out from and people one
okay, me that's it. But on a pay o friend one shock asani ya. Because untimi mo bi akro obra woni evidence. No. Any PSA. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, but
The service captain.
What's that friend?
Because of your couple.
Yeah, captain.
Good. Guess they are not being fair to Ghanaians, both of them. Are you discussing what Amidu said?
But you are no free phone no kakana intimate tone.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yes.
Good.
I think it's much better.
I thought you were discussing what Martin Amidu said, his reasons for resigning. And so if the man said this and that are my reasons for wanting to resign or my reasons for resigning, I expected both of them to tackle the issue as in what the man said, devoid of insults, calling somebody this, calling somebody that. Indeed, he mentioned somebody also mentioned somebody. But we were expecting to hear both of them discussing the issue at stake and not what somebody did and what somebody has done now. The man said, you are not giving me the room to be able to operate. You are interrupting me. So therefore, if the NPP came out with that long statement that you read for us to know what you're coming to discuss, they are both disappointing Ghanaians as in the way they are handling the issue.
Okay, thank you very much, Captain. Thank you for calling. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, Whiny.
From original guy.
Original, what's that friend?
Spinters Manet.
You.
Winning. I somewhere no, CJ, on your Zambia, on my fountain chankwa, then this fundi, Omushi, Omufi there, I do know about fetch a bibiana. Ah, fetch and crack. You win away. Oko boy, who win away. Carlos, who win away. Tapas Goba, who win away. Sajasafo, who win away. Yeah, help me. And this will be yet one or two. Bye bye.
Hello, good morning. Sorry. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Whiny.
Ekuya Mponsa.
Ekuya Kasa friend.
Me pasa free Adom district. Am I here?
Ekuya into.
Me pasa CJ. Your panelists should tell us what you are talking about. They are confusing we Ghanaians. They should tell us why Amidu says he will not work. We are not interested in who stole this, who stole this. Prosperity will judge us all. So they should tell us. That's all what I want to say.
Thank you, Ekuya. But that's it. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Ouch. Out.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. But Doom Radio no crab me. Doom Radio no. Hello. No. Go you run for. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Whiny.
Yeah, me the Adams, we can free Isawa.
Rosa Adams.
Adams, we can free Isawa.
Okay, Adams ain't you.
But Joe, say more program now. Omo panelists me now, omo mabano. Ese mo ka issue na who they are to ono. E mo detective man. Because before the you be two boys omo beka wan asem no. Say bi o so wo anyansa bi anase agin bi wo ho. Enti ma mo be dada. Oh, what you say? I confirm to. I confess what all tabai. Ne petre no sa tune. Eh? But I was MPP non jani must not do on no baba.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, CJ.
Yeah, morning.
CJ na namu akune mkasa first boy CJ.
O fre na ubedi atema me you free so.
No kura no ano no. CJ ayakonya na dama.
I won't take that at all.
No kura. CJ.
I won't take it.
Adibo na yembu. Na ni yehuni. Entre ma ebi ni bawe so no bi dim for atem no. Na ye akomodi en mu yo say ba ebi atem CJ. They can remember about my story, my Ghana, Namincha, Mr. Desmond, our customs, our tema, you'll be a Namincha. CJ, I dare you share a twaba, 2020, and you never knew pay. Said another buy a ball share with this one, I another derby, or buy or so many fees near or the abba, or buy rocket napo on premise swati, and or buy. Nothing to take allowance any school trip about Abetia and not by what is the 140 course one baby any way. Okono for one with you one damn or in the doom said Jaya, Jen San Kotoba, and my papa your mamma, or for do some menu, no fire or mention Koyan Koso, or maybe Bass Bandu. There be already man now almost a scammer so on his laptop most phone for some or whatever. CJ, Ghana for you say a nyati, papa, a bat for some fast or your dinner start. So fathers and another buy Ghana for them so far so there. Yes, some of the 4 more. It will be our part. Number 1 honor. That will say team so. Then another are 12 but panning. No, I know not that you be honor. If you have in your man, you are not in Ghana for.
That's it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Winnie.
You're from Mr. Green.
Mr. Green, Kasafrin.
I'm Kasafri Ashama.
Okay, Mr. Green, ain't you?
Asema pesa mekani se nkofo ya umo ekasamane no yetie umo pa nti no ese uma umo nhihye bi a umo ba atamdidie ene ne ho asem no na umo njai na asem na nkasa no umo boso na yenti na nkofo a ewadaje a yetie umo pa medase
menso medase. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, me Adom CJ na won't say no pay.
Adom na so e
Adom ni ahye
your first saying
Eben kwa benya.
Eben ain't you?
Eni mpiesi le bo wa baso pawati. Me se wadwuma wo ye. Fan e kambada. Jo mama be reward wati. Na me ka che Ghana for say me fremo. Number 2 hono krono ni ho. Utuma number 2 a what one the big push in your mapeba national apprenticeship ye di ba ma ye wato. Ye nkoye ebusuama mu na amanfo kakra be ebusuafo kakra pa mu njiga na moso. My encoyam from Fulcom, Echo Tuma, Papa no so incorruptible now. Make a chomber tough last house. On the first time in Pomo pay a Monday, Bubble check chrono, a year boy, member into resignation. Matiamidu, Warizano, and the second Mpensenpensenmu, Odin Chico, because when in the Chian call on the Ton Ghana, Kakrian Po and Anya who said, Sakawa Mafia. A chim Sakama, Tomajigan, a boss of chrono, yeah, grabbing. Then another, from the 6 years in Pona Obacon,
okay, me that's it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Winnie. Benjamin, obey me last caller. Me too.
From next year, echo home. Politician never now ready to move the time. I am more evidence. Right. Section I can't India, no movie, evidence, that not air can't come out. And I also honest evidence. But see the Yana Muslim is almost an evidence into what
Yebisapa. Yeah, Yebisapa, Medase. Medase, you sent me for Frefubia, Ebu. Chairman, 1 minute, Nafi. Yeah, sorry, what measure say for
CJ, Yebedasi, the Hunhiapa ne and pay what for Nibia. Some more kind is very important. Say issue Niba. Now you do Hunkoma. CJ, they are no Hunhiam, they say. As somebody see whether you can repair it or you cannot repair it. But Ninginano is an information to me, the Maye. Said that, you know, and a more betuno. And I'm a ban upon America, say. Upon all the discussions, Martinami do let what they call the amount for person muti. It's one side of the story. But for me, see, the me can say I don't see anything condemning the president too. Because there was no clear evidence by telling me, say, or say, why an own judge. A part of the statement, Beboa. I was so announcing so. Then near Pisa say, a day and a now ye, and a more ben a too. President Jai or Maujaye, no catcher or say, I deal with saying I'm a panel. He didn't give us any reason, Beboa. But a new statement, Yante President Inca. But be the Nina say, Sabi, and also Okwa. It is not the end of Ghana. It is not the end of the world. It is not the end of the Special Prosecution Office. The most important is that say the reason of the Jai say no going forward. How are we going to fix it? But then yes, say the Juma Mawa. Not everything is about the media, without giving any reason because of popularism. And dear partner president, or any own judge. He should explain to us.
Okay.
Get him and let's get answers from there. No, be informed in going forward.
Medasi.
Na ye mrana. Yetumia ye ashimukina amagana. That the ebedi dasi no pay say. A juma na nadwa ye. And the more you 3 weeks in here unhumino. Ghana for ajile jumatum. Ghana for ashenbo. Say fear 9 and nam Ghana can continue. Bina na no huyo. And now ye can special prosecutor ye who the day and now I don't know the aba. Aircon and Nimunu will be a tossibian will fix it. Ghana for him and na COVID by ye nim amania or maybe a cum and na Ghana ye jina ye. In terms of the management, in terms of saving the people. At the same time, incentives be BS Ghana Yenyano.
Okay,
call for
Chairman Medasi.
It is
Medasi. And him.
The American said on the 10th of December. Yabesa befia. Me person o share sa date no me ni PSC. Block it for us. 10th of December. Na said ye hu 2016 no. Ghana for share boss e omo beye amana bros.
Chairman Medasi. Anim. Yes, sorry.
Why agree me date now?
Agreed. Fine.
CJ. Me we cry no. I'm say o testers no. Even the suggestions be by. I'm say Chairman Boateng disappointed. Dodona Martinami do at the resignation letter about Bonting say a Jumana Ghana for the man through President Kufuor on to me near one man reasons in tia or into me near you. Reasoning in an say also man penning a man of common into me in a Jumani. The Susa President Kufuor near ready so be fight corruption. As a minute any baby any more boy in DC ding our reporting them being the cause of Nintia, of course, what name about into the attempt to rope in NDC in a win of end. A young people from our nations, a one style, or as well adopt.
Okay,
but fighting corruption, massa. ABB has a gun and Ibiama and one semihiano. Say you bet me to Kazasan, probably because by here. CDD for the report be about and say Ghana lose 9 to 12 million every year because of corruption. You bet me I you bet me I insu. He bet me hospitals. He bet me the equipment. Ego hospitals be. Ama yetimi anya hoden. I fight it. Niema huru be brekutia. Nampacho. Ni nti aye to aba ne se. Yepe obi obetimi adu no kware. E wo sa ho no. Ama Ghana skate ma bo ho ba.
Me da se Bernard Nimti.
Number 2 na aye John Mahama na. Why ye bida? Ana breso. Wo hwe Transparency International. Rating. In terms of fighting corruption. Baby odikodu no. Even the list.
Man, Yemfa Bernard Nimti is a member of the NDC communications team, Chairman Boateng. Yeah, sorry. Now, and then was special assignment, and then Rami Bosso made it to and the State Housing Company, Minimi team, Obekaya, some time ago, but the managing director no eba studio ha, around Pofu, but the neighbor studio ha, it drink Komobibri, Emma, yes, Shebo. Say baby projects ahodo state housing project ahodo ekoso ni nyina no bese me amekọ ho na mekọkọ hwe na me de ho amane ebo ebre metiefo ene mahwefo enti embre no anya mbemu a afei na bre no abam enti ene me ne mi team ye tu sa na mo no ye pon ya free denta North Kaneshi baby a projects ahodo no ewo won kran ha baby a sisi adan ye edi akire na ye de ho amane bo e de abremo nti ene ekodi sa adwuma no chena ye de ho amane no ebeba Mpensenpensenmu ye fa seda no Emma Advance Ghana stronger together na fe Airtel Tigo money life is simple na fe yema Ostek properties so akwaba omoso abeso yase ne Mpensenpensenmu no emu ye nsase wura Ostek Properties. Yeah, the Omasa Papa. Being the chief Jerry Forson. Follow me on social media. Jerry Forson on Facebook. I'm CJ Forson on Instagram. I'm CJ Forson.